Hello. I'm back. Told you guys I'm gonna try. I'm gonna stay. When one session gets me going on the thought process of my healing, I start more opens up. Like my memory is just starting to kind of excuse me, remember certain things, or it's marinated for a little bit in my thought process, and then I'm like, I figured it out. I got it. All right. So one thing I do want to state that so was it 2 days ago? I think it was now. The last session that I posted, I didn't cry. I didn't every other session throughout that, I believe I cried on every single session of some sort, which it's okay to cry, but it was nice. That's something that I noticed for myself. It was like I did that session without feeling very, very heavy and whatnot. So stoked to kind of recognize that. All right, so the last post, or like, I'm not trying to necessarily go off of like each, one. I'm just letting this naturally flow. And so, but going back to a couple like situations to where it's going to come into one, it boils down to, I made a comment about, I mentioned about my cleaning. Like, I love to clean. Not that I like wake up and be like, I want to clean and organize. No, it's not that. It's just that I enjoy cleaning. It doesn't bother me as it does for some. And not only that, I'm very particular about how it's done. Very OCD. And then it all made sense. Like, it literally did make sense why how it ties back, because it's the one thing I can control. It's the one thing that I have the say in it. As into when I was a little girl, I was unable to control any of the situations that I was put through. I was scared. So that young 6 to, all those years of the trauma and abuse that I went through, I didn't have control. And I felt, I don't want to say I felt dirty, but I think that's how I'm feeling anyways right now. I have a feeling that's where it connected, because my mom, I don't know if I shared in the other post, but I've talked to other people, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. But in talking to my skill set was not taught by my parents and how to clean. And I'd cleaned the bathroom when I was younger, early. I mean, I did it because I wanted it clean, not because my mom asked me to or anything. It was because I wanted it. So yeah, just the overall of it just made me realize the reason why I enjoy cleaning is because that was one of my things that I can do so well and extreme that people appreciate it too. So like I said, it's the one thing I can control. And two, it gives me the sense of, I don't want to say no filth, but that it's clean. So yeah, after that session, I kind of got to thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's ultimately what it is because of control. There's not much I do control in my life. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a control freak. I used to be, where if I'm okay and I'm comfortable with putting my trust into somebody else that has control of a situation, I can handle multiple situations. And if I'm forced to be in control, I will do it. Like, I can handle it. Like, I have the backbone to be like, oh, I got this. Like, whatever the situation may be. But when I was younger, I didn't have that. So that's how I connected it. So how this also ties back into one of the therapy sessions I left out on of my main abuser. And then go back to talking about that, and I will probably, like I said, I may come back to other scenarios. You know what I mean? If it comes back up, then I'm gonna visit them. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's not done. No, that's what I've done all my past, is like, I've already dealt with that. There's nothing, I'm over it. It is what it is, right? But ultimately, if it's still kind of coming back into your forefront in your thought process, then something needs to be dealt with. So, I'll continue to discuss what I feel that is necessarily and whatnot. So, my main abuser, I can't tell you how old I was. I can't tell you exactly when it started. I can tell you that my abuser was my mom's boyfriend at that time, and he lived with us. At first, it didn't happen right away, from what I recall. He was a master manipulator, alcoholic, and from what I remember, because I think of the pain that I've had in the past or prior to him, starting at the age 6, when he came into our lives, I felt that connection. Like, I craved that father figure, so to speak, to be active in my life. Because at that time, my father wasn't active. Like, you know, he was living his life. And so that's why I would say him and I started bonding, or so to speak. But now that I look at it, and it's like, wow, he was grooming me. He groomed me. Like I said, I can't grasp the thought process of how long it was. All I know is I remember. See, I can't even remember the see, and sometimes it's like I want to remember like certain not scenarios. Like, I'm not explaining in detail because it's not needed in my eyes. Now, if it comes back and it's, in my thought process, it's like, no, you need to work through this type of situation or this scenario, then I will. But I just remember when he first started grooming me, I would believe what my mom had felt, that she trusted him. He moved in rather quick. Now, I would say my mom was traumatized and in pain herself. So for her to allow, I mean, like I said, he was a master manipulator. He was good at manipulating. And so he manipulated my mother to move in right away. And he did. He moved in real quick. And he, like I said, time frame, I can't ballpark it, but he manipulated me. He groomed me. And then I recall the first time I ever was like kind of uncomfortable, I guess, like, or realizing that, something's not right. This is not appropriate type. This type of relationship should not possibly be taking effect. For a situation of, and he wasn't even my stepfather, but my mom's boyfriend at the time. And I was young. God, how was I? 10? Maybe 10 to 12. I can't exactly remember, so I'm thinking within that time frame. Because my parents divorced when I was in first grade. So anyways, if mom reaches out and lets me know this was the time frame, then okay. But I don't know if the age is necessarily a big part of my healing, because like I said, I have such a huge gap, and I chuckle and I laugh because this is how I handle things right now. Because I'm like, yeah, I went through all that, and look at me now. Look at me now. Like, I can't tell you how excited I get thinking about my healing process now. Like, there's times where I'm like, okay, I need to heal what? So it's like sometimes I go searching and digging for in my brain, what do I need to work on? And then I will pray and ask the universe that I'm open to receive, and that I'm ready for anything and all that I need to be shown, and whatnot. So the 10 to 12 age frame is when I started getting molested by a live-in boyfriend of my mom's. And it happened for, I don't know how long he lived with us, but it pretty much happened for the period of time he lived with us. Y'all, I'm like, even I say y'all to myself, because I'm just like, oh. So, I just want to tell you, like, there's been, and this may not be, you know what I mean? I may come back to this and discuss, but there was a lot that has happened. There was a lot of hurt, anger, pain that myself, my brother, my mom, that we all went through. And so different scenarios took place. And the one thing that I think about of that whole scenario of my main abuser. Now I say my main because he was the longest. Like, he abused me the longest. I've had multiple abusers, but he was the one that was able to hide it very good and had me scared shitless, because he told me that if I didn't get skilled, basically if I didn't learn how to sexually please at that age, that or if I told anybody, that he would kill me and hurt my family. Dude, I was 10, 11, 12, maybe somewhere around there. I didn't know. I didn't have the confidence at that time to know that it was ultimately wrong. It's just so weird how I think about that in my poor little brain. Like, how manipulated and groomed I was. See, all of it's just like right now, I have so much going on in my head, because now that just popped in my head about his girls. One time they would come on around the weekends, and he even like touched them while I was there in my room. And I was there, I saw that. Like, I know I was not the only person that's ever been molested or abused by. He did it to his own daughters. And so that like takes me to a flash, and it takes me to when I went to court, because I was 18 years old. He had a son or something like that, and his family, the extended family, asked me if I would be willing to testify, and I was like, yeah. And I went into court, and when I got to court, like, to see him face to face, like, it was almost like I had this power of, I had the upper hand. Like, I took back my control in that I can be in that, like, I had the upper hand. Like, I had him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes any sense. And then ultimately, throughout all the years, so nothing ever happened. I didn't take stand. I don't even know what happened to that case. I don't know if he did get custody or not. I don't know. I was 18, 19 years old. And here I am, 40, and throughout those years, I've asked myself, was I in the wrong for not pressing charges? Because I never pressed charges. My parents didn't press charges, and quite frankly, it's not something we really spoke about. It was something you didn't talk about that. Like nowadays, it's like I always, like with my girls, I talk to them and, let it be known that no one's to touch you. This is inappropriate, blase, blase, like. So no charges were pressed or whatnot. But where I'm going with this overall wrapping is because the other day I kind of had my main abuser, and I'm sitting there thinking in my head, I'm like, should I have pressed charges? Should he, I know for a fact I wasn't the only person. I mean, he did it to his own flesh and blood. So if he's did that, who else has he done it to? How many other people? How many other children? And then a parts of me wants to be like, yeah, I was in the wrong. I should have pressed charges. And then I think, is it too late to do that? Can I still go back and put this asshole, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think like that. And then what like kind of popped in my head was, I just kind of marinated with the thought process of wanting or having the ability to pursue you know what I mean, something. And then I just was like, oh, I'm wanting more closure. I'm wanting, whether it be closure or openness to everything that needs to be purged out. And you guys, like, freaked myself out. Because if honesty, if in reality, I'm gonna look into the camera, and if I had a chance to say it face to face to the person that was my main abuser, no matter the hurt and the pain that I went through, because of your choices, because of your actions, at a young, very young age, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you for everything you did to me. I forgive you because you are a hurt soul yourself. For whatever you went through growing up and feeling that that was the right decision, I am so sorry that's the life that you've lived. And I am so sorry for whatever reason you feel that your choices were in the right to hurt me and others. But I do forgive you. You don't have to say sorry. I forgive you. Because what happened to me doesn't define me. It did for a period of time, believe it or not. But it's okay, because this is my healing part. This is where I heal. And I will wish nothing but healing for you. that's what I would say to him right now. That's all I could think of is like, just if I was to face to him, I forgive him. Don't hold me, like, don't be like, oh, you're crazy. Don't get me wrong. There's been many years where there would be a time or two where I'd be like, if I ever saw him, how would I react? Or how would I clam up? Would I get sick? Or would I do, you know what I mean? Like, there's been times, like, especially from the last that I knew, he lived in the city, like where I'm at. And I mean, it's a small world. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything can happen. But for me to have that the other day, I was just like, damn, Jen, your growth is amazing. Amazing. Because I'm telling you, I would have not thought about that a while back ago. But yeah, I do. I forgive my main abuser. He don't have to apologize to me. I wish I could take all the hurt and pain he caused. My mom, my brother. I wish I could take their pain away, and I wish I can give them that ability to forgive him and truly let go. Because that hurt soul, that hurt individual, it was a wrecking ball in our family. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Like, I just feel, because I also think about like my past and like all the years of knowing that I was sexually abused and taken advantage of. Knowing all those years, and then even other people would know it. Other people mentioned it. I mean, there was one of my mom's friends, she had asked my mom question it or something. And now, at my age, speaking to one of my aunts, she was like, yeah, I kind of got a weird vibe. I mean, like I said, it was there, but it just wasn't openly spoken about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, nowadays, I'll straight, I make that stuff, I bring it out and make it uncomfortable if I have to. Like, if I feel like there's a little child in endangerment or anything like that, I would try to get to their level and connect with them and try to read the red flags, the signs, because I know signs of grooming. I know I've been there, lived that, a huge part of my life. So, I definitely will speak up. My children know, and I encourage, anybody that's watching this, I encourage you guys, educate your children, educate your grandchildren. Let it be known that their privates are their privates, and that, they're not to be touched, or abused, however you want to explain it. Let it, don't hold it back. Let it be known that, I have, and I actually, the other day I heard on the news, the radio, there's a commercial that said something about talking to your kids about being touched in their private places. And it was basically encouraging that. And I was like, oh, I love this. Like, I love hearing it on that radio. That's what I want to hear. We should be all on our toes. We all, there are so many of us that are hurt. We're all hurt individuals, whatever it is that we may be dealing with that hurt us. Okay. It could be a car accident. It could be deployment. It could be rape. It could be sexual abuse. You know what I'm saying? It could be multiple different things, death, whatever. We're all hurt. We all have things that happen to us, and we, respond and grow. And so it's just, when I think of the overall of it, of each individual, like I'm just, sorry if I squirreled, but I'm just thankful and happy that I am where I'm at, because I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? This is how I know I'm growing. And this is now where I feel damn good, because somebody that had a huge part. Oh, that's what it was. That I didn't crush it. I wasn't like, oh, I've been molested. I was this, I was that. I wasn't like that. I didn't realize though that my choices growing up throughout my life, that was a part, like, because this happened to me, this is how I was acting. And not that I knew that, you know what I mean? Like, you just automatically do it. Like, so if your trauma is from a wreck or whatever the case may be, you may feel like you went through that and dealt with it. And then later down the road, that's what happened to me. It just kind of smacked me in the face. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm really not healed. I thought I was doing good. I thought I was great. I didn't hurt that. That didn't hurt me. That didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over that. And it happened. I sucked it up, moved on. It is what it is. And then like all this what I'm call spiritual awakening, living on a vibration on this level and this growth is just absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I'm so blessed and thankful that this awakening has happened, because to live in that where I was, like when I talk to people and I'm like, well, you need to heal, or you truly need to work on yourself. I used to hear that shit. I used to maybe hear to people, most people that go through breakups or whatnot, they'll go, and especially since Facebook has been around for a long time now, and things you share and post, people would post like, oh, kind of like a jab at the opposite sex or something like that. Or, oh, I'm single again, I'm lonely, or, someday, blase type thing. And like some people are like, oh, the right one will come along. And, that is true. But some of my friends, and even I'm like one that told myself, I'm like, you cannot get in a relationship until I'm truly healed. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way to be in a relationship and not have some sort of actual true healing. And so some are like, okay, I shouldn't say some. Let me use me for an example. I would straight be like, I'm healed. I don't need, like, why do these people talk about, oh, truly heal. My subconscious level was not even accepting that, because I was just like, I'm healed. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you're healed, you will know if you're truly healed. Like, you will have this, like, this huge, amazingly wild roller coaster, and shit happens that you're like, really? Is that really happening? Yeah, I get it now. I truly get it. And so with that, and that growth of healing, truly, I'm able to now, like, I'm excited. I'm not fully healed. Are we ever fully healed? I want to believe that we get to a point where, you continue to heal. You don't just heal like that and everything's done and over with. It's still a growing process. You grow, and growing just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, a little bit does, but not all of it, right? So I'm excited because it's been a while since I've been in a serious relationship. Somebody that I can give my love to and love them for who they are and how they are, and to love myself for who I am and why I am the way that I am. And I'm happy. I love myself. Like, do I still have issues and battles within? You bet I do. I battle with my thought process. I battle with depression. I battle with some anxiety. Okay, not some. I battle with a lot of anxiety, and many wouldn't know, but I do. I don't take medicine for it. I don't need medicine for it. I am working through everything that's going on inside me, because I know that it's a dis-ease, and it doesn't need to be medicated. I understand some things do need to be medicated. I get that. Like, but me personally, I am more on this natural homeopath lifestyle of, I mean, removing the pharmaceuticals. So knowing that anxiety and the depression that I deal with, it's nowhere near like what it was before my spiritual healing, if that makes sense. Like, going through this healing, it's opening up, the spiritual awakening is opening up my ability to heal. Not just the thought process, because everything's energy, remember? And so with that energy, like the anxiety and depression, that's energy. So I'm working on it and I'm getting better. And I'm just so stoked and excited because when that time comes that I meet that person that I want to be with, I'm excited because I feel that I'm ready now. Like I truly feel ready to be able to communicate, to say, listen, this, you know what I mean? Speak my truth and let it be known that I'm not here to hurt them, because that's also another kind of aha thing that I've had after, if I was like, well, if I had to face my abuser face to face, what would I say? And then I got to thinking, I'm like, well, you know, if I had to face all the people that I've ever hurt, I would tell them I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting them, for the unhealed version of me, because that's honestly what it was. I think about scenarios that I may have discussed about, like okay, for an example, my ex-husband, there's some frustration there. It's been a roller coaster. We have a child together. And so that is, back in the day, I would have been like, well, you know, I don't know why, you know, not that I don't know why, but oh, he just needs to get it right. He just needs to fix it. He just needs to, you know, get mad and frustrated. The other day, I found myself saying he needs to be healed. He's hurt. He has a lot of trauma. He's had quite the past. This I know. I mean, he shared his. I was married to him. And how it's affecting our daughter. The old version of Jen would get frustrated, blood pressure would raise. I would probably say things that were not appropriate. And now it's different. I see it different. My perspective is just so much different. Anyone wants to come to me and talk to me about negative stuff, I honestly don't want to hear it. I don't, because my first thought process is, you're so unhealed. You can live at such a better vibration, a better frequency, if you remove that negativity, the negative thoughts. And so that's why I tell myself, you know, because as I'm going through this healing process, I'm like, he's hurt. So I stuck up for him. You know what I mean? I don't want to say stuck up for him, but like, I see it now and I have more empathy, I guess, so to speak, or a better understanding of just everyone in general, that why they act out the way they act out. And it's like, man, my heart aches for that person because they're in pain. And now I also too know that when someone is hurt and they're stuck with their pain, and it's not that they refuse to, because this is one thing that I've learned with myself. I didn't refuse to heal because I didn't know I needed to heal, if that makes sense. Because I felt like I was healed. I didn't know that I still had stuff traumatizing me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize. So it's not that people don't refuse to heal. They simply just don't realize how much healing they need, how much stuff they have pent up inside, and that they really need to just go because I'm telling you, just thinking or sitting with the process, you're not healing. You need to spit the words out. Words are energy. Everything that's happened to you is energy. We are all energy. So that's how I'm healing myself, is I'm spitting it out. I'm recording. I don't care if 2 people are following me. I don't care. You guys are awesome. Thanks for following along. I love you. But that's what's so cool about this, is because I don't know. And I'm going to continue doing this because I know that my words that are inside right now, my thought process that I've been setting with for so long, was wrong. Like, it literally was wrong. So yeah, I'm happy and proud of myself because of that growth. And then like after that other few sessions, like, so in this, like, since I got back from vacation, I've kind of, what I've spoke about today has been a little bit there on the thought process. Like I said, I like to marinate sometimes with some stuff, but I'm feeling good because I feel like I have more and more stuff still kind of like after a session, and then I'm like, oh, and then something else will pop in my head and I go write down a word and I'm like, oh, I might as well just record now, because I could have set a whole week on this or waited longer, but I was like, you know what? I had a little bit of time before I have to go pick up Stevie. Let me check real quick here. Yeah, I got a little bit. And so when I go pick her up, yeah, I was like, get the camera, turn it on, do it. So I did. And I'm glad that I did, because I needed to get that out. I needed to let it be known that, face to face, this is what I would say. And that I do forgive. And I forgive every single person in my life that's hurt me. I do. It's crazy where I'm at with it. Like, I forgive, but it doesn't mean that I don't forget, because it's not that what their choices, their actions, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know every single thing anybody's been in my life. I don't know what they all been through. But just think, I'm like, dude, if they went through half the shit that I went through, I mean, I'm not saying, I know other people had a lot worse other situations. So I don't want to sit there and be like, well, I had this happen, or it's not like that. It's like, if I think about the pain and the hurt and trauma I went through and why, some of the damn decisions I've made, I'm so frustrated with myself, because although there's some stuff that I'm not proud of, and I'm still marinating with some things, and I believe it will be a session in the very near future. But as the people that have hurt me, I forgive them, but I won't forget, because I also too know what I have done. And not that I had purposely hurt individuals, but because of the unhealed parts of me caused that. I mean, yes, it's me that did it. I'm not pointing, but I'm saying that was the unhealed version of me. And so, I forgive the ones that, were that in my life. And I apologize to all the ones that I did that to, because I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't want to hurt anybody. Like, thinking about that. So yeah, I know, like, see, right now I'm getting worked up, and so I know that for sure, as I'm going through this, I'll probably bring up individuals that I need to apologize, like, more one-on-one with, like my dad. I shot him a voice clip the other day apologizing. I guess you could say I assumed that he was watching these and would assume that he saw my apology to him, but I got to thinking, I'm like, my assumptions are not always, you know what I mean? It's just that. So I said, what was in me, it was like, I think it was about a week, and I was like, well, how do I do this? Like, do I call him? Do I go see him? Do I just send him a message? Like, how do I do this? And I was like, well, that's the anxiety I was battling in my head. And at this point, I was just like, well, I sent him. So for the period of time him and I didn't talk, we had an 8-month hiatus of not talking. And after ketchup passed, basically my brother was like, you just need to get over this, whatever. So anyways, I went on this 15-minute rant of what I felt, what my expectations, how I let my own expectations down. Like, I expected him to be this way, or why this and blah. I was like, I was hurt. I was sad. And I'm not excusing that, because that behavior, yes, I said what I said and I did what I did, but I still own it and I apologized for it. So I messaged him and I just wanted him to know that. And so I know the more I continue to go through, I will reach out to apologize. That's the thing. Like, what do you do? Do you reach out to certain people? They may not even be in your life anymore. And that's fine too. But do you reach back to get that, I don't want to say closure, but to end that trauma for them? Do you leave it alone? That's what I'm battling with. So, anyways, it'll all come together. It'll all come together. Okay, I'm gonna be done for this afternoon. I'm looking at the time there, and I gotta be rolling out to go to the pickup line. So I'm just gonna let this session marinate for a while, and I'll jump back on when I'm ready to jump back on. Yeah. Thank you for being here and just listening, because you're my therapy. I love you all. And most of all, I love myself.